4x, but 4x is usually the best. So when you scan around here at 4x, again, you're looking for arteries, veins, and the ductus deferens. So when you scan around here, you want to look for the biggest circle possible, and obviously you guys won't be scanning on the test, it'll be at one spot. But when you're studying, you want to look around. That is the biggest circle in that slide. This is your ductus deferens. So it's going from here over to here. This is the lumen right there. Get that focused a little better. So by far, that's going to be the biggest circle that you see in that slide. And the other way I know that's the ductus deferens is it's got this really huge layer of smooth muscle cells. So if I would magnify that, I would be able to see that these are smooth muscle cells going this direction. Remember, smooth muscle cells are not striated. They're tapered, so they'd be fatter in the middle or taper out to the ends. And the nuclei would be right in the middle of the cell. I can also see that the lumen here is lined with epithelia. These are the cells that look darker purple. And they look darker because they're so close together because they're epithelial cells. And you can see that these have kind of a columnar shape to them, particularly when you go to compare it to an artery or a vein that would be next to this. What you're seeing in here, these are actually sperm cell here in the middle. So you may have a ductus deferens with sperm cell in it, you may not. It just depends on that particular organism, what was going on with the sperm cells at that particular point in time. So that one you can see, huge layer of smooth muscle, very circular, lined with simple columnar epithelia or pseudostratified, 1 and 2. See some sperm cell in there, but again, you don't necessarily have to see sperm cells. If we move over and then look at arteries versus veins, this is a good section here. This right here would be an artery. So again, you can see it's very round, but it's not nearly as big as what we just looked at. Here, you've got a layer of smooth muscle, but not nearly as big as what we just looked at. You've got epithelial cells lining the lumen, and these, you can see, are much shorter than the ones we just looked at. So those would be simple squamous epithelial cells. And then all around it are a bunch of veins. This would be a vein right here. This is part of a vein. Here's a vein right here. Here's a great big vein right there. This would be vein, that's probably a vein also. So again, when you look at veins, veins are going to have a bigger lumen than the arteries. They're also lined with simple squamous epithelia. The layer of smooth muscle is going to be much smaller than the arteries will be. So again, take a look at that, and then go back over to the ductus deferens. Compare it. That's the ductus deferens.
Do you want us to remember simple squamous epithelia for the veins?
No, I probably won't ask you that, but probably won't ask you that now. It'll come up again when we do digestion, so probably should learn it at some point, but I won't specifically ask you. What you're looking at right here, this is also an artery, and this is also a vein. Why these look a little weird is there's dried up blood in the middle of them, and that's giving this kind of pink appearance in here. So those are just blood cells that are still, that just got stuck in the vessel. But again, this is an artery because it's very round, layer of smooth muscle. This is a vein because it's more oblong, layer of smooth muscle smaller, lumen's bigger in the vein than in the artery. This would be another vein right here. This would be a small vein. This would be another vein. Little artery, and your nerves are going to be these guys right here. They're going to be smaller circles that are just solid, and they don't have a lumen in them. microvilli on these
Getting
guys.
the wrong thing.
No microvilli on these guys. They're just transporters,
Okay.
right? They're either transporting blood or they're transporting sperm or semen. So no microvilli on any of these. Okay, then if we go over to, let's go to the epididymis. These are the guys that you'll see microvilli, really long microvilli, and they're actually called stereocilia. So this is at 4x, and so this is a cross section of the epididymis. So you see tubule, 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 tubule. So all of those kind of circular areas are the tubes that the sperm is swimming through, right? And so you cross-section it, and so you just see all these little circles. And a lot of these, you see sperm, so that's what all of this here is in the middle. Those are all sperm. And generally, you're going to find more sperm in the epididymis than you would the testes, because sperm go to the epididymis to mature and hang out and wait. Chances are you will see some sperm in the testes as well, but you're going to see just sperm that are releasing, traveling through the testes to get here. Now, when you look, we need to magnify this to really see it, but what we're going to do is we're going to look here at the wall of these tubules. And the wall of the tubes of the epididymis are going to be smaller, not as thick as they are in the testes. And again, that should kind of make sense, because remember, in the seminiferous tubules of the testes, in the wall, is where we're doing all those rounds of cell division. So you would expect the wall to be a little bit thicker. And when you look in the testes and you look in the wall, if you magnify it and look at the nuclei, you should even be able to see the chromosomes actually condensing. They'll look like little strings in the nuclei. And that's because the chromosomes are undergoing division, right? They're going through mitosis or meiosis. Now, when we magnify this, you should see that the edge of these cells here are not going to be clean at all. And that's because there's lots of these long microvilli, and they just make the inside of the cell look really, or the inside of the tubule look really torn and ratty. So I'm just going to magnify this up to 10x. And again, it's a little bit hard to see projecting it like this. You can see the microvilli better if you just take the fine focus and go forward just a little bit and back just a little bit. But you can see these it looks kind of ratty, or these things kind of sticking up. That's the microvilli here of the cells lining these tubules. So all of those little frayed areas, those are the microvilli. And again, what's inside of here, those are the sperm cells there. So again, you can see that's a long microvilli. There's some microvilli. Now if I increase it up to 40, again, you can see, so you can see here the wall is not real thick. You can see these are the microvilli coming off here. So for the testes and the epididymis, it's better to show it at like 10x or 40x, because then you can really see these cells that are lining the lumen. So if I switch that and go over to the testes now,